On May 25, 1979, a routine domestic flight departing Chicago O'Hare Airport turned into the deadliest aviation accident in United States history. American Airlines Flight 191 lasted just 31 seconds in the air. In those few seconds, a chain of hidden maintenance errors, design vulnerabilities, and unforgiving aerodynamics came together with catastrophic consequences. This is the story of Flight 191 and the lessons that changed aviation forever. First, let's talk about the background of the flight. Flight 191 was scheduled to fly from Chicago O'Hare to Los Angeles. The aircraft was a McDonnell Douglas DC-1010, tail number N1.10AA. On board were 258 passengers, 13 flight attendants, 2 pilots, and a flight engineer. A total of 271 people plus 2 people on the ground. The captain, Walter Lux, was an experienced pilot with over 22,000 flight hours. First Officer James Dillard and flight engineer Alfred Udovich were equally qualified. Weather conditions were clear, visibility was excellent, and there was no indication of danger. The DC-10 and its design. The McDonnell Douglas DC-10 was a wide-body tragedie introduced in the early 1970s. It featured 2 engines mounted under the wings, a 3rd engine mounted at the tail, advanced automation for its time. However, the DC-10 had already faced scrutiny due to earlier design issues, including cargo door failures. Despite these concerns, the aircraft was considered airworthy and widely used across major U.S. airlines. Maintenance shortcuts. The root cause of Flight 191 began months earlier inside a maintenance hangar. Official manufacturer procedures required the engine to be removed separately from its pylon during servicing. However, to save time and labor cost SV, American Airlines, along with several other airlines, adopted an unapproved shortcut. The engine and pylon were removed together using a forklift. This method placed extreme stress on the pylon's mounting structure. Microscopic cracks formed in the pylon attach points, but they went undetected during inspections. The takeoff. At 3:02 p.m. local time, Flight 191 was cleared for takeoff from runway 32R. As the aircraft accelerated down the runway, everything appeared normal. But just seconds after liftoff, at approximately 153 feet above the ground, the left engine suddenly tore away from the wing. The engine flipped upward, ripping through hydraulic lines and electrical systems as it separated. Immediate consequences. The loss of the engine triggered a cascade of failures. Hydraulic fluid was lost. Electrical wiring was severed. Leading-edge slats on the left wing retracted. These slats were critical for maintaining lift at low speeds. With the left wing slats retracted and the right wing slats extended, the aircraft entered an asymmetric aerodynamic condition. The crew had no warning lights. They had no indication that the slats had retracted. The uncontrollable roll. As the DC-10 continued climbing, the left wing began to lose lift. At just 31 seconds after liftoff, the aircraft rolled sharply to the left, past 90 degrees. The pilots had no time to react. The aircraft inverted and crashed into an open field near the runway, exploding on impact. All 271 people on board were killed instantly. 2 additional people on the ground also lost their lives. Witnesses and immediate response. Air traffic controllers watched in horror as the aircraft disappeared from radar. Eyewitnesses described seeing the engine tumbling through the air before the aircraft rolled violently. Emergency crews responded within seconds, but there were no survivors. The scale of the destruction was unprecedented. The investigation begins. The National Transportation Safety Board launched an immediate investigation. Investigators recovered the detached engine and discovered severe damage to the pylons, mounting points, metallurgical. Analysis revealed fatigue cracks consistent with improper removal techniques. The unapproved forklift method was identified as the direct cause of the structural failure. Why the pilots could not save it. Simulations later showed that even perfect pilot response could not have saved Flight 191. The automatic slat retraction system designed to prevent asymmetry had failed silently. No alarms, no cockpit indications, no recovery margin. The aircraft was doomed the moment the engine separated. Aftermath and industry impact. In the days following the crash, The FAA grounded every DC-10 worldwide. Maintenance procedures were completely rewritten. Engine pylon removal shortcuts were permanently banned. Design standards for redundancy, failure warnings, and inspection requirements were dramatically strengthened. Legacy of Flight 191. American Airlines. Flight 191 remains the deadliest aviation accident in U.S. history. Its legacy lives on in safer aircraft, stricter maintenance rules, and an industry that learned, at a terrible cost, how small shortcuts can lead to irreversible tragedy. Every safe flight today carries the lessons written by Flight 191.